Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to Cloud Test Lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
What did we get here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same thing here. Let's give it as float type now. Float. Let's give it. So we need to give a suffix now, right? What is suffix we need to give? Maybe small f or capital F. Save it now. Right click on the program. Run as Java application. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. However, it is here. Internally here, if it is a float type, it will be able to store any kind of value, any kind of lengthy decimals, right? It is a double precision, okay? It is able to store a double precision value, whereas a float can store only a single precision value, right? So whenever you feel that we have more number of decimals, rather than going for float type, better we go for double type. So double will be able to accommodate better than float type. Understand? And both types are given for same purpose. What is that? Simply to store a value where we have some decimal values. Understand? So when we have less decimals, better we go for float type. So it won't consume much memory. As it consumes only 4 bytes of memory, better you go with float. The same thing here. If at all we are consuming a lot of memory, if at all we require to store a very lengthy value where we have huge number of decimals, right? In those cases, better we make use of double type rather than float type, right? And simple float is also called as single precision type, whereas double is also called as double precision type. Understand? And if at all we are giving a constant directly like this, by default the constant will be taken as a double constant rather than floating point constant. So if at all we have to use float a decimal value like this, a floating point constant like this, and if at all you want to make it as a float variable, float value, simply give a suffix small f or capital F, no problem. Alright? Any queries here?
So, Prasad,
Yes.
yeah, it makes sense to me, but briefly, can you explain me that, okay, if I'm not giving the precision F, it will give me error.
Yes.
If I'm giving the precision F, it will accept the value as a float.
Yes.
But internally, we have only 4 bytes to store the value.
Yes.
So how does it accept the value, or how does it store the value, and why it's displaying the value as E? So can you explain the advantage of giving the precision F or D?
Come on, F or Hiren?
Yes, sir.
Can you come again, please?
Yeah. My question is, what is the advantage of giving the suffix F or D? If you are not giving the suffix F or D, it's not storing the value. But if you giving storing the value as is, but
See,
internally
for
we have only 4 bytes to
yes,
store the value. So
yes.
what is the advantage here? I mean, how it managed internally?
See, here coming to the float type, if it is double type, you may give D. Okay, it's optional. You may give or you may not give. By default, it is double constant. Okay. By default, a value having decimals is always a double constant. Double constant by default.
Right,
By default, it is a double constant. Okay. So here directly we cannot store double constant into float type. Right.
right,
It will feel. See, it shows you an error message like this. Right. So
right,
here we need to go for typecasting. What is typecasting? Conversion of data from one type to another type. Conversion of data from one type to another type is what called as typecasting.
right,
So here we require typecasting. See here right now we got error message now. What is it saying here? Type mismatch cannot convert from double to float. So
right.
now by default this value is a double constant. So we should go for typecasting now. So to do this typecasting now here we need to specify it as float. So now whatever the double constant we have here, the same double constant will be converted into float constant now.
Okay,
Right. So without doing this explicit typecasting here, directly we can make it as, see, I'm removing this now. So now it works here, right click save. So save the program run as Java application. So now it's working great. See value is 3.1234567.
right,
Right. So this is one way. The other way we have is without doing all this typecasting, anyway by default it's a float constant. So what to
right.
do now? Simply give a suffix either small f or capital F. Right. So automatically whatever the double constant we have will start to act as a floating point constant and consumes only 4 bytes of memory.
Right.
Right. So we can reduce memory. So we can eliminate memory wastage. And simply here it will, the same value will be stored into float variable now. So now we can display it. See, right click, run as Java Java application.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. Atiya, is it clear now, Atiya? Atiya Sukara. All right. What about you, Sukara? All right. So anyway, so any of you feel, if at all you feel any queries, if at all you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. All right. You need not wait for a long number of hours or long time or till next day or anything. Please feel free to ask me immediately. Okay. Right. Next we will see here. We'll discuss on narrowing. Okay. Where is that example? Yes, here we have. See, narrowing example. Is this screen size clearly visible to you all? Everybody? Screen size, text size, is it okay to you all? Yeah. Anyway, if any of you have issues, let me know so that I will try to increase text size. Okay. Fine. See now here. Now here, see narrowing example. What is narrowing? See here float type. So simply here, for we have taken float variable now. So float variable has a value like 3.94 here, right? And if I remove this f here, suffix small f here, what is this constant now? Will it be taken as a float constant or a double constant? Sukara?
It
Sukara?
will be taken as a double constant.
Right. So double constant consumes how many bytes of memory?
Double takes 8 bytes of memory.
8 bytes. So now to make it a float constant, what are the ways we have?
We can add a small f or a capital F
As a prefix or suffix?
suffix.
What is the other way we have? What is
Or
the other way?
we can do typecasting. I mean,
Okay. Okay. Atiya, can you explain what is typecasting, Atiya? Atiya, can you explain what is typecasting? Hello. Okay. See, typecasting is conversion of one type of value to another type of value is called as typecasting. Okay. Whenever we are trying to convert a value from one type to any other type, we can say it as typecasting. Alright. So here we have value 3.94, okay, which is in double constant now. Alright. So by giving a suffix, type means data type here. Type means data type, okay. So simply here we can give a suffix small f or we can give a suffix capital F. Understand? Simply here by saying here either small f or capital F, here we are making it to act as a float constant. This is one way we have. The other way we have is conversion of data from one type to another type. Right? Conversion of data from one data type to another data type is what called as typecasting. Okay, see here. Now here we're converting it into float type. Right now here, see. Let us remove this small capital F here. So right now it will be taken as a double constant, right? So now this double constant cannot be stored directly into float variable. So what can we do? We can give either a suffix small f save or we can give capital F save. This is one of the way we have. The other way we have is we can go for typecasting here. Directly we can specify our float type here, right? So now we will be able to save our program. See here. So what is happening here now? We're converting our double constant into a floating point constant through proper typecasting. What is typecasting? Whenever we are trying to convert a value from one type to any other data type we have, we can call it as typecasting. Alright, clear now, Athiya?
You said that typecasting is converting one data type to another data type, right?
Converting a value from one type, right now here, it's a value which belongs to double type, right? So now we are making the same value to act as a float type. So we are typecasting from double type to float type. So whenever you are trying to convert a value from one data type to any other data type, we can do it by making use of typecasting. Okay. Regarding the same typecasting now, we will look into two different things now. One is narrowing, the other one is type promotion. What are these both things we will see now? First of all, is it clear till now, Athiya?
Yeah.
Right. See now here. So now without converting from double constant to float constant here, directly better option is go for specifying suffix, maybe a capital F or small f. Yeah, Felix, what are you saying? Let me see. Felix is asking regarding memory here. See, Felix here, whenever we typecast here, anyway, right now it is double constant, right? If you remove this F here, it will be a double constant. So double constant needs 8 bytes of memory. But whenever we specify small f or capital F, it will act as a float constant and consumes only 4 bytes of memory. Right? It will not consume 8 bytes of memory. It will consume only 4 bytes of memory. Alright, see now here. What is narrowing? Yes.
Instead of using float b equals to 3.94f, we can directly use double all, right?
Yeah, it will consume more memory then.
Why you said that float is 4, right? 4
Yeah.
byte of memory. Again,
Yeah,
we are using suffix as float. So
Yeah.
this float plus that float altogether is 8, right?
See, here this variable float is a data type which
Yeah.
where we are specifying which type of variable it is. Understand? And it's a variable name. Okay.
Yeah.
Variable name can be anything, maybe like your name or my name.
Right.
Right? And coming to here, you're storing a value here. So in this variable, we can store any floating point value. It consumes only 4 bytes of memory.
Right.
Okay. Simply here we can say it's a float type and it's a variable a variable can accommodate any kind of value. Here we are saying that we are going to store a value where it will be 3.94. Understand? So we are saying that this value should be stored in this variable. This variable belongs to so and so type. Understand? So it will consume only 4 bytes of memory. If at all we go for double type, again same thing happens. See here, if at all you specify it as double, so the only thing is you have to give suffix either a small f or capital F. Okay, and Jiten, don't go for a complex shapes of itself. Okay, we'll discuss them later. All right. See, yeah.
By giving suffix of f, it is not occupying any memory, you mean?
Yeah, it will be considered as a float constant. Right now, it will be taken as a double constant, right? Right now, here this 3.94 value is taken as a double constant. So, instead of making it to act as a double constant, now simply here directly it will consume 8 bytes of memory. So, here float type consumes 8 bytes of memory, right? So, the same double value we are storing into double variable. So, now it is consuming 8 bytes of memory. So instead of saying this now, what are we saying here? We're going for double variable now. We're going for float variable, okay? So float variable is equal to so and so value, but by default this value is a double constant and we want to make the variable to act as a float constant. So here we can give a suffix as a small f or we can give capital F, however it is.
So how much memory it is occupying now?
Only 4 bytes.
Only 4?
Yes. See, it's a value, okay? It's a value, it consumes 4 bytes of memory, right? And coming to here, it is a float type, right? Coming to float variables, are able to, float variables will consume 4 bytes of memory, understand? So, in this memory location, we can store a float point constant, alright?
So, instead of using double, we can use float because it consumes 4 bytes of memory. So why we use double then? We can just use the double values and give f as suffix. So
yes, but here whenever you want to store huge number of decimals, it is not possible to go for float. It is better you go for double. Okay. Whenever we are trying to work with multiple decimals, better always we go for double. Understand? Rather than going for to have more clarity, better we go for double rather than float. Right? So double will be able to store multiple decimals than float. Yeah. Felix is asking here, can we convert from float to double? Need not to go for typecasting, Felix. Okay. Because here, anyway, we can store float value directly to double. Understand? So example here. Now I will take a double variable here. Double. Okay. Double D is equal to B. It works now directly. Why? Because simply here it consumes 8 bytes of memory, whereas B belongs to float variable which consumes only 4 bytes of memory. So conversion from lower type to higher type. Now need not to have any separate conversion here. Conversion from lower type to higher type. So directly we can translate here. We call it as type promotion. We call it as type promotion. Understand? That is what our next example. Let's see here. See, I'm commenting it here. See here. Here now B is a float type, right? So see now here. Now what is A? A is integer value, right? Integer variable. Right now it has value as 1. What are we saying now? A is equal to typecasting variable is B. What is B here? B is a variable where we have value as 1. Understand? So now the same value we are converting to integer type. Come on. Here float will consume only 4 bytes and integer also consumes only 4 bytes, right? But here integer cannot contain decimals, whereas float type can contain decimals. Integer variable cannot contain decimals. So that here it is mandatory we need to go for proper typecasting. Understand? So it is mandatory we need to go for proper typecasting here. So here what are the variable we are having here? The same variable we can typecast into integer type. So come on, what is the value of B now here? 3.94, right? So how it works now? Now simply the same value will be stored into float variable, right? So here now the same variable B we are typing converting to integer type, right? Through typecasting. So here we are requesting to convert from float type to integer type. Why? Because here A is integer variable, whereas B is a float variable, right? So B value is 3.94. Come on. In integer variable, can we store a decimal value? Atiya, Sukada, respond me. Can we store?
Again?
Yeah, can we store a floating point constant into an integer variable? Yeah, Atiya, is it possible?
No, I think.
Very good. It is not possible, right? So here we are converting here to integer. So what happens now? What happens now, Sukada?
Since it's an integer, so the decimal points it won't be considering, and it'll
Yes.
be only 3.
Exactly. So what are the decimals we have here? Those decimal values will be truncated now. And directly here it will have the value as 3. So now value of A will be taken as a 3. Right? Next thing now here. Next thing is type promotion. What is type promotion? You see? We are taking float type here, right? Float variable we are taking it as C. Right? What is A here? Come on. What is value of A now? 3. Now what value will be stored in the variable C now? Exactly. It is stored a value as 3.0. Right? Why? Because simply it's a float type, right? So though our value is not having any decimals, by default it will have decimal like 3.0. See the program output now here? See, it is showing you value as 3.0. Right? So here A value is 3, B value is 3.84, and again when we are getting back here, it is showing you value as 3.0. Right? So here directly we are storing the value right from integer to float, so we call it as promotion. Right? Not only from integer to float, maybe from float to double. Here we see an example now. See, float to double. Here.
Prasad,
Yes.
I got one doubt on that.
Yes.
Um, why is not doing rounding operation when you are saying 3.9 and when you are assigning to integer? Why is not saying 4 and why is saying the 3.9?
Here. Here, if at all you have to do anything like rounding or anything like that, we need to perform additional operations. Okay. By default, it shows you the value what we are getting as is. Okay. By default, it shows you same data as it is. It won't go for rounding automatically. Understand? Because data is always costly. Understand? So if it all you take share value, you may go for rounding and you may display here. Okay. So it will show you more amount. Share value may be less, but it shows you more value. Right? Everybody may have lots of shares. All right. And even decimals value will show you a great difference at that time. Understand? So here data is always costly. According to our requirements here, we can make it as round. Understand? But by default, it will not be rounded automatically. Clear now?
Prasad, I had a question.
Yeah.
Like we initialized int a equals 1, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, is that necessary to initialize because we are
No.
already assigning b to a? So we
Yeah.
can
Here
int equals int a.
we are not using it. It's not required here.
It's not required.
Simply, yeah, it's not required. Simply we can already declare it like this. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, no issues. But remember, we should not try to use a variable before initializing. Without initializing value of a, see, here we are giving value for a, right? Without giving for value for a, we cannot print like this. Understand? It gives you mistake. See, it is saying variable a may not have been initialized. So without giving any data, we cannot try to use a variable as a part of display or as a part of any expression or anything. So before you use a variable in program, we need to initialize somewhere somehow, maybe here or the time of declaration, wherever it is. We need to initialize a variable if it is a local variable. Okay. Is it clear to you all now, everybody? Is it clear to you all regarding what is narrowing? Narrowing is what here? Narrowing is we are converting here double type to integer type. Maybe whenever we are trying to convert from higher type to lower type, we call it as narrowing. What is promotion? Type promotion. Whenever we are converting a value from higher type to lower type, we call it as promotion. So what is A here? A is integer variable here, right? So we are taking this lower type directly into higher type. So we call it as promotion. Here need not to go for any kind of typecasting. But coming to here, narrowing here, what is B? B is float type. So and whereas C is whereas here A is integer type. So we are converting from float type to integer type. So whenever we are converting from higher type to lower type, we call it as narrowing. Understand? Is it clear now to you all regarding narrowing and type promotion?
Yeah, Prasad, I have one question.
Yes.
What is the purpose of using this typecasting? Because anyhow, we are not initializing any value to A and we are not using at all. So why not directly go for float? Why typecasting?
Simply, we are learning how to do. Okay. Yeah, in our real-time programming, whenever we need, we may be doing. So simply here, we need to do in such a way. If whenever it is required to go for typecasting, so simply there is a way how we need to work.
Could you give an example how it will work in real time?
Simply here, see, let's say here, end user has given some floating point type, okay, but you want to make it to act as integer type. End user may give some input data. Example, once you log into any website, you may give some input data, right? Maybe once based upon the input we give, it gives a response, right? So end user might have given some floating point type, but we don't want to have decimals, so we can go for converting to integer. All right. End user may give. Yes.
Why not we are not directly initializing to float? So I'm not getting what is the purpose of typecasting, because
Here.
we can give the value, right? We can anyhow we are not using here just declaring int A. In real time, how it works? Could you please give an example?
Yeah. Let us say here, end user has given a float point constant, okay? Float point maybe like something like 3.9 or 3.4 like that, okay? But in our program, let's say we are using some formula, okay? In that formula, let's say we have to use only integer data. We don't want to use float point data. So now we need to truncate the rest of part. So simply we can class cast into integer. Simply we need to typecast into integer. What happens now? Whenever we typecast into integer here, it will lose all the decimal values we have. So what are the decimal values we have? We can lose the decimal values and we can take only the original value we have. Understand? So end user might have given a float type constant like this here. Simply, but we want to store only normal data. So simply here we can go for a typecasting. Understand? So end user may input any kind of data, but we want to store into integer type. So we need to go for float casting like this. So it will lose the decimal values we have. Clear now? Abdulip, what are you asking, Abdulip? Hello. Abdulip, what are you asking? Arithmetics are converted to integer. Arithmetic operations, operators. Yeah. What are the result we are having? Yeah, whenever we are trying to do some calculations, so simply here it will generate a value. So even the generated results or anything, yeah, we can do, no problem, Abdulip. Even while we are doing some calculations, right? So here right now directly we are giving right a value B rate. So maybe an expression. We may have something like this here, B plus A, or maybe any expression here. First of all, whatever the expression we have here, the same expression will be evaluated, and then we can convert into integer. Not only direct variable, we can also have expressions here, no problem. Yeah, you are right, Abdul. Yes. If at all you have to preserve float value, you should typecast it to float type. Okay. Anyway, by default, whenever we multiply or whenever we as a part of expression, whenever we have float type and also integer, it gives you result as only float type. Okay, it will not give integer. Whenever we are doing some operations, we'll see them later. Okay, obviously. Whenever we see calculations part as a part of our variables belongs to different types here, it gives you always result of only higher type. Okay, we'll see them later as a part of expressions. Okay. First one, is it clear to you all regarding narrowing type and promotion? Everybody? Clear, everybody? Any queries to any of you? Clear, everybody? Any queries to any of you? All right. Okay. So, okay, I'll talk to coordinators and I'll email you regarding tomorrow's class. Okay, at what time we'll be having class, or even maybe I'll discuss with them and I'll finalize timings. Okay, maybe to take class tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Okay, and I'll inform you through email. All right.
Prasad?
Yeah.
You recorded this session, right? Could you send the recording?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, this recording is already there into a server space. Okay. You can request coordinators. They can email you, because I have not taken it in my machine. This is recorded into a work server space.
So we have to request to the H2K?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Clear, everybody? All right. Okay. Thank you all. See you all soon. And all of you do practice, okay? And we will start remaining part in the next class. And thank you all. Abdulib, I will email you, Abdulib, okay? Maybe tomorrow morning I'll email you all, okay? Regarding to next session, when we will be having next session, I'll email you all by discussing with coordinators, okay? And thank you all. Have a nice day.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website h2kinfosys.com. On our website h2kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.